So for those of you that don't know, this is my brother Keith, and he has his YouTube channel, Canadian Permaculture Legacy. Beehives is something that we are thinking about getting. He has 40 hives. Can they sense my fear? They're swarming me.
This is the kind of stuff I do. An ecosystem pond, and then I want to show you also my food forest itself, because that's where the magic happens.
Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So we are actually at my brother's today, and we are here, one, to exchange birthday gifts because my nephew also turned 16 a week before Kate, and we haven't gotten together yet, but two, to check out his beehives. So beehives is something that we are thinking about getting on our homestead, and he has 40 hives here, so we're just coming to check it out.
Way to kick me out of the video.
Yeah.
Out. So for those of you that don't know, this is my brother Keith, and he has his YouTube channel, Canadian Permaculture Legacy. So if you are into permaculture, anything, food forest, he is the guy to check out. So let's go check out his beehives. Can they sense my fear?
Yeah, they can.
Because I feel like they're swarming me right now. Are they swarming me?
There's not even one near you.
Yeah, they're around my head. I can
No,
feel them.
They're not. That's a mosquito.
That kind of stuff, right? If it lands on you, just let it land on you.
Is it on my head? What's
No,
this?
it's a deer fly. Relax.
But they're swarming everywhere though. Look at them.
As long as you're calm. They don't,
I'm not calm.
you
Oh,
also don't
what's
wanna-
that on my camera? No, that's a deer fly.
I pick fruit right next to them all the time. Like I'll be picking fruit off of one that's pollinating a flower right next to my hand. Like they can really sense your heart rate. They can sense your perspiration, pheromones that you're putting out. They can actually like smell your fear.
I've got a lot of fear right now. They're swarming. So Julia is actually.
Swarming.
They're just working.
They're all here though. Like
Yeah,
look at
but
them
they're
all.
not. That's not a swarm.
So if we get beehives, I'm thinking we're gonna put them in the back bush. Is this a deer fly around me right now or a bee?
Deer fly.
Do these come up to your house right now? This isn't
No,
too
so-
far from the house.
Yeah, I mean if you walk 10 feet up from here.
Jackson,
you don't
I'm
really
a
even
weenie
notice
over
them.
here.
You
Little,
I
my little
don't
nephew
notice
is
them.
brave.
I see. I mean we have.
I feel like I have a bee fear because of Julia.
No.
Julia has an allergy to bees. I've sent her far up the hill, but I really do want bees. I love that they will pollinate everything. Honey, Scott goes through a lot of honey, and it would be an income source for honey, beeswax products. Let's go check it out.
To be clear, I'm not an expert in bees, right, at all. We're learning from a guy who's a local apiarius, beekeeper. So we're learning off of him. These are all his hives. He does all the work for us. And then our benefit is that we get like a couple jars of honey and then we get all the pollination. So that's what we want. Beekeeping is extremely complicated and very, very expensive. Obtaining all these hives, getting all the equipment you need for it, you're paying for like the most expensive jar of honey you've ever had. So we wanted to get someone else to do all the work for us. The guy who's running these hives, he lost 100% of these. He had it next to like a agriculture field that kind of just does cash cropping, and they sprayed, and he lost every single hive this
Over the
last
winter?
year. Yeah. Every 100% loss. So I was buying honey off him, and I stopped by and I said, hey, like I got the whole food forest thing and we don't spray anything on it. And we got like extreme diversity. I plant stuff specifically to help save the bees. He came over, walked the land, and then he's like, how many can I put here? And we were thinking like,
as you want.
well, we were thinking like 8 or something like that. And then he showed up with like, I think we have 42 hives or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot. I was a little worried about these displacing and pushing the native wild honeybees that we have, because we actually create habitat for them. We run a lot of like bare soil for them because the native bees are what do most of the pollination. So instead we actually kind of moved more hives for those, like more habitat for those, up in the other complete opposite corner of the property. And that's why these are back here, so that they kind of hopefully each have their own space that they can occupy.
And these will go about 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah, I mean, they go, yeah, the range is huge. In fact, most of the bees that I had before could have been from where he had the hives before. Like, I don't know the mechanics on splitting hives. There's a lot of great bee YouTube channels out there that you can probably get that info from. But my thought is that I think when they can check on them, so they can pop the lid open and they can pull the racks out. So like in here, there's a bunch of racks, right? So they can pull that out, and if they get good larvae on each side, and you can kind of see how closed off each of those are. Like they take that one out and put it in a new hive. They get a new bee, a new queen in there, and then that kind of will then split and turn into a new hive. Apparently there's a bunch of different types of hive too. There's a couple new designs of hives that are really exciting apparently. Yeah, because I'll do a video on the bees, and I have a lot of, like, no matter what the topic is, I have a lot of really expert people who watch my channel, which I kind of take as like a badge of pride that those people watch my channel. Because I know I'm doing something right. But they'll say, hey, have you heard of like a layman's hive or something like that? And they're like, these ones are good, but these box hives are not the best. Then there's like flow-through hives where you don't have to actually get in there. It just like naturally will come out. But I think those ones can get clogged up and stuff like that. But so we're using these ones because that's what he uses. He's doing all the work for us. So like I go and I like pick fruit like right next to them. And I do think that they can really sense fear. It's been 5 years. I've never been stung by a bee, like in 5 years.
These are different bees too, though. It's not like it's not yellow jackets that are just out to sting you.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have more research to do, and maybe I need to visit here more and make sure I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
We convinced him to get chickens. Well, Julia did. She's a big chicken talker. He's wanted chickens for a while. My sister-in-law wasn't so sure, but we said you're gonna love them. So they've got some Easter eggers, a Dominique.
If you ever check out my channel, this is the kind of stuff I do. So this is like an ecosystem pond that we've installed. I have a video coming out on details of this. It's going to be about 30 minutes long. So if you like this, or you like, you know, planting for nature and insects and stuff like that, check that out. And then I want to show you also my food forest itself, because that's where the magic happens. Okay, so this is the back side of the food forest. This is like the back side of the pond. So we did the pond so that it's like a beating heart of the ecosystem. It's that water. And because of that, we planted native wildflowers everywhere to try to attract, not only, you know, help the bees out and stuff like that, but all insects are crashing. And that way also we get predators for the pests that eat our food forest crops as well. And we can break those pest cycles really quick. So we have like a couple hundred trees planted on the property, pretty much any fruit that can grow here, we grow. We're trying to restore things like, say, this pawpaw right here. Pawpaw tree, a Cinema triloba. It's North America's largest fruit. It's this huge papaya mango thing, and it's actually native here. So we're trying to kind of restore those, and the rest of the food forest is this way. Yeah, so we've got peaches in here as well. There's this tree put on, like this tree alone was a couple hundred peaches last year, just buckets. These are currants, they're very medicinal. We got elderberries, service berries, pears, peaches, plums, apricots, tons of walnuts and nuts, and pretty much everything. So check out my channel if you want to see more food forest, kind of grow your own food, medicine on your own land.
So this is asparagus. We have one little asparagus growing, and Scott was telling me it wasn't asparagus, but it absolutely is asparagus. We love asparagus. But can I transplant this? It's growing in the tree line.
Probably.
One little singular asparagus.
Depends on how old it is. Like something 10 plus years old won't transplant well, but if it's small, like you said, and young, it should.
So we are starting a food forest on our place, and it's not going so well this year. So we're gonna get him to come and help us. This has all been like 5 years?
Yep, 5 years.
5 years to turn this from lawn to huge food forest. So it's doable. Definitely one of the issues for us is the water problem. So he's gonna help us figure out how to collect as much natural water and funnel it to where we need it to go. So check him out. And again, it's Canadian Permaculture Legacy on YouTube, and you'll see him on our channel soon.